Hello everyone, hello students. I am Miss Amruta Zadhav ma'am, your physics teacher, and as we have started new chapter which is thermodynamics, and we have covered two parts of it. In part 1 we have discussed all the introductory part of thermodynamics, and in part 2 we have studied many concepts which are related to thermodynamics. And now I am here with the part 3. So let's move towards this part and let's have a look what we are going to learn in today's lecture. So before moving towards our today's lecture, let's have a look what we have done in the previous lecture. That means we are going to revise what we have done in the previous lecture. First, what we have seen? We have seen thermodynamic system and thermodynamic processes. What is thermodynamic means? Thermodynamics is branch of physics which deals with the study of heat and thermal. What is meaning of thermal energy? It is nothing but heat. And what is heat? It is related to temperature. So all of this we have studied in the point 1. Let's see what is point 2. Second point that we have discussed was heat. What is heat? Right now we have seen change in temperature which is caused by the transfer of internal energy between system and surroundings, or we can say it as environment. So this gives rise in the temperature. So it is nothing but heat which is actually given by Q. So that's what we have studied. What happens when we transfer energy between system and environment? When energy is transferred to a system from environment, we say the system gains energy, or we call it as it absorbs, because environment is giving energy to the system, so it absorbs. So it is positive. I am talking about heat. Okay, now when energy is transferred from system to the surrounding or system to the environment, so we can say energy is negative, all right, and it loses energy. So this is what we have seen in the part of heat. And the third point, which was very important and which is going to use in all the other concepts from now and onwards, which is internal energy, or we have seen the change in internal energy. All right. So as we have seen that it can be changed either by gaining or releasing. Due to what? Due to exchange of heat with the environment. So how it exactly happens, how it transfers, so that we have seen by taking an example of cylinder which is having gas molecule inside it and which is being provided with a movable, massless and frictionless piston, right? When gas expands, that piston moves upwards, so volume get expanded, and when it releases or it compresses, the piston moves downwards. So this gives you idea about positive and negative work done also. Okay, so we have says that increase in internal energy of gas, it depends on what? It depends on energy which is provided, it is gained or released, it depends on that. So these 3 points which we have discussed in the previous lecture. So let's have look for the today's lecture. These 3 points which are really very important for you to study. That is, just we have revised that there is a change in internal energy due to heat, right? So there is one law which gives you the relation between internal energy, then heat and work done, and that law is nothing but first law of thermodynamics. So the first law of thermodynamics we are going to study in today's lecture. So this is the first point. Then property of the system or a system variables. As you know, what are the variables which we study during the thermodynamics? First one is temperature, volume, and pressure. Even mass, density, internal energy, work done, these all are the variables which we study. But what are the properties of that? That we will see in this lecture. Okay, and the third point, which is the last point of today's lecture, is intensive and extensive variables. As we said that there are number of variables which we consider while doing the study of thermodynamics, but there are two kinds of variables. One of them is intensive and another one is extensive. But what are they? We'll have a look towards it. Okay, so without wasting our time, let's move towards the first point, which is first law of thermodynamics. So, as in bracket I have written, work, heat are related. So this is the main motto of this first law of thermodynamics. What is that? Work and heat are interrelated to each other. This is all about the first law of thermodynamics. Now to study this, what we are going to consider? We are going to do one experiment for this. Now what is that experiment? We are going to consider a system which is consisting of some quantity of an ideal gas which is enclosed in a cylinder. Okay, here you can see a cylinder is there. A cylinder is there which is having ideal gas which is enclosed in it, and it is having a movable piston, which is this. It is a movable piston, and this is the arrangement of our experiment, by using which we are going to discuss the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, now as we are going to discuss this, I just wanted to clear one thing, that this all will depends on the kinetic theory of gases, because we are going to consider gas molecules which are there inside the system. So let's consider two kinds of it. First one should be the positive work done by the system, and second one is negative work done. Positive work done and negative work done. Now what are they? What is positive and what is negative? Let's have a look. You can have a look at the diagram over here, in which you can see a piston is there which is moving in outward direction. What does it means? When a gas molecule inside it increases the volume, we are going to consider a work done by the system. Now what is system over here? It is gas molecule. Gas is nothing but a system over here. And what is the environment over here? Environment is this piston, the boundaries of the cylinder, and the outer part is surrounding or environment, we can say. So by doing work by the gas, the piston is moving in forward direction. Why this happens? Because the gas molecule get expanded. As they got expand, the gas molecule will strike, or it will collide with the piston. So as it collide on the piston is moves through a very finite distance. It is in outward direction. So now in this case, gas does positive work on the piston. What I am saying, when gas expanded, what happens? The molecule will strike on the piston and the piston moves in forward direction. So the gas does positive work on the piston. When the piston is pushed inside, what will happen? The gas will, when this is in this case, when the piston is moving in towards the gas molecule, what will happen? The gas will, what gas will do? Gas will be compressed. The volume will decrease as the piston is moving downward. So in that case, negative work done will be there. So when the work done is positive, when piston is moving forwardly, work done is positive, and the gas volume increases. When volume get decreased, that means when gas molecules get compressed, this piston will move in downward direction towards the gas molecule, and work done will be negative. So this is all you have to study in this. Okay, so as we said that we are going to consider a cylinder. This all is written over here. Okay, so when the piston is pushed outward, work done is positive. When the piston is moves inside, it is work done is negative. Now we are going to consider that cylinder. In mathematical form, we have to derive one equation which gives you the first law of thermodynamics, right? So let's do it in some mathematical equation form. So the cylinder which we have considered here, that should be having area A, okay, and the constant pressure exerted by the system on the piston is P. Here it is. P is the pressure and A is the area. Now, according to the definition of force, what will be force? It is pressure into area. So we are getting F is equal to PA. Now, as we said that it is movable piston, right? So work done is done over there. What is work done? F into dx. Am I right? Yes. But what is F? F is P A dx. Right? This is dw. But A into dx, that means area into displacement, is nothing but change in volume. So we can directly write this as dw is equal to P dv. Did you got where this equation came from? We know this as F into dx, but F is PA and dx. But A into dx is nothing but dv. So you are getting equation for dw, that is work done, as P into dv. But if I am saying that the volume is goes on changing, as just we have discussed, either it will increase or decrease. So we have to consider the initial volume as well as the final volume. So if I am considering initial volume as Vi and final volume as Vf, so what we are getting in the equation? So this equation comes out to be W is equal to integration from Vi to Vf P dv. So this will be P, by taking integration of dv, it will be V only. Integration dv is nothing but V. Now by putting the upper limit and lower limit, we are getting Vf minus Vi. So this is the equation for work done. And we have to consider that the change in volume in this case is very small. Okay. So now, as we know that internal energy of the system can be changed by three ways, either by heating or by cooling or by doing some work on the system. By three ways we can change the internal energy. So by applying all of these three, we are going to write down the equation for internal energy itself. First, we are going to heat up the system. So when amount of heat Q is added to the system, and after adding heat to the system, if system do not do any work, then this comes out to be delta U, that is change in internal energy, is nothing but heat. So delta U is equal to Q itself. It is nothing but only heat which is provided to the system. But when we give amount of heat to the system and even the work is done, on it. So what will be that? It will be delta U is equal to minus W. But why I have given negative sign to it? Because when some work is done to that system, the volume will goes on increases and then it loses its internal energy. So as internal energy decreases, okay, so internal energy decreases, as I said, so we are getting it is in negative sense. So it means that when W is positive, that means when work done is positive, delta U is negative and vice versa. Okay, why is it so? Again, I'm explaining. When system does some work to increase its volume and no heat is added to it while expanding, the system loses its energy to its surrounding. And now what is the surrounding over here? As volume increases, piston will goes outward, and that piston is nothing but environment or surrounding. So what happens? It loses energy to move that piston. So as it loses energy and its internal energy also goes on decreases. That's why I am saying when W is positive, delta U becomes negative and vice versa. So therefore we can write delta U is equal to minus W. So combinedly we are going to combine both cases, as when we add heat or when we are doing work on the system. In both the cases, what will be that? Delta U, when we add heat to it, it is only Q, and when we give work done to it, it is nothing but minus W, right? As just now we have discussed. So if I arrange the equation, it will give you Q is equal to delta U plus W. So this is the mathematical equation for thermodynamic first equation or first law of thermodynamics. Okay, did you got the first law? It gives the relationship between heat, work done and change in internal energy. Okay, so this is all about the first law. Now, as we have seen the equation or mathematical equation of it, which is Q is equal to delta U plus W. In this case, W, Q and even delta U can be positive, negative, or it may be zero also. So how it can change? Let's have a look at this three diagrams. Okay, have a look at the first diagram. You will get the idea about the first example, which is how the internal energy increases. What you can see in the first diagram over here, have a look here. In the first diagram you can see when surrounding is giving heat to the system, which is 200 joule. Okay, some work has been done inside the system and it is doing work in outer direction, which is to the surrounding. It is suppose 100 joule. So what will be delta U over here? Let us have the look at the first law of thermodynamics, which is Q is equal to delta U plus W. By substituting value for Q, what is that? 200 plus this is nothing but delta U, you are getting as plus 100 joule. That means there is increase in internal energy. So when work done is less than the heat which is provided, then you are getting increase in internal energy. Now have a look at the second diagram over here. Work done by the surrounding to the system is minus 100 joule. When it is from the surrounding to the system, it will be negative, obviously. So it is minus 100 joule, and heat is given out is minus 200 joule, as it is given out, so it is decreases, so it is minus 200 joule. So what we are getting, delta U here, as it is delta U, it's Q minus W. What is Q over here? Minus 200, minus W is minus 100, so minus 100. So this will be minus 100 plus, minus 200, it will be plus 100. What will be this? It will be minus 100 joule. So delta U is nothing but minus 100 joule. So there will be what? Either increase or decrease in internal energy? Yes, there is decrease in internal energy. Okay, now what is the third example about? When work done and heat which is provided, both are same. When work done is 200 as well as when Q is 200, what will be delta U? It will be obviously 0. Okay, so the case when heat added to the system and the work done by it are the same, the internal energy of the system remains unchanged, that means 0. So this is nothing but the law of conservation of energy. What is that? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another. This is nothing but law of conservation of energy. So system to which there is no exchange of energy gives you idea about conservation of energy itself. When it can happen, this happens only in case of isolated system. We have seen three types of systems: open, closed and isolated. In open system, heat and matter both are changing, both are exchanging with the surroundings, and in closed system only heat can be exchanged, not the matter. And what happens in case of isolated system? In isolated system, nor the heat exchanges nor the matter. So this happens in only the case of isolated system. That means conservation of energy can happen in first law of thermodynamics, but the system should be isolated. Okay, so after doing all the discussion about first law of thermodynamics, we are going to study two more concepts. One of them is property of system or a system variables. Before moving towards the properties, let's have a look what is thermodynamic state variables. As we have studied many things which are related to thermodynamics, which were pressure, volume and temperature are the three variables which we consider generally while considering a thermodynamic system. Alright, and besides that, what we consider? Mass, volume, density, all, and even work done, internal energy, all of these variables which we consider while doing study of thermodynamics, right? So these all are nothing but the state variables. So we have to define some property of that. So let's have a look at that. The property of system is nothing but it is any measurable or observable characteristic of a system when system remains in equilibrium. So the main thing is system should be in equilibrium, should remains in equilibrium. A property is also called as state variables of the system. For example, pressure, volume, temperature, density, mass of the system are some of the variables that are used to describe a system. That right now I have said you that these are many system variables which we use to describe a thermodynamic system. So these are the measurable properties. By this we can measure the terms. So physics is basically depends on the quantitative study of anything. So quantity is nothing but it should be measurable. So these all are the measurable properties and are called as macroscopic variables, not micro. This is macroscopic, measure. Pressure, temperature, volume, density, mass. These are macroscopic variables of the systems. Okay, now let's consider the another, which is the last point of today's lecture, which is intensive and extensive variables. As right now we have said that there are number of variables which we consider while studying thermodynamics. So in this there are two types. First one is intensive and the second one is extensive. So the first type we'll see is intensive. So the intensive variables which do not depend on size of the system. The variables which do not depend on size of the system are called as intensive variables. What are intensive? Do not depend on size of the variable. And extensive variables which depends on the size of the variables. Okay, so you can blindly says that what are the variables which depend on the size? You can tell me. First one is internal energy, even the total mass. These are the things which depends on the size. Okay, so this can be extensive variables, right? Does the temperature depends on the size? No. Does the pressure depends on the size? No. So we can say that pressure, temperature are the intensive variables because they do not depend on the size of the system. Okay, so here there is an example that we have considered is we have considered a system in equilibrium, and this system is divided into two equal compartments. Okay, one system is there and that system has to be divided into two equal compartments, each with half the original volume. We can notice that the pressure, the temperature and the density are same in both the compartments because pressure is doesn't depend on the size, temperature doesn't depend on the size, and even the density. What is the formula for density over here? Density is nothing but mass upon volume, but small m is there, not total mass, small m. Okay, so pressure, temperature and density are intensive variables, and total mass, right now I am saying total mass, internal energy of the systems are, they are unequally divided actually. So these will be extensive variables because they do depend on the size of the system. So these are the some basic concepts which are related to thermodynamics, in which we have seen intensive and extensive variables. What are they? Okay, after doing all this study we are going to see many concepts like thermodynamic equilibriums. We have randomly saying this word equilibrium. So what exactly is the meaning of equilibrium? When we say it is in thermal equilibrium, we say that temperature of the system as well as surroundings are equal. But there are actually three types of equilibriums that we are going to study in the next lecture. I am just giving an overlook of tomorrow's lecture. Okay, so let's come for the today's lecture, which what points we have learned today. First, which is very important, that first law of thermodynamic. Second, property of system and system variables. And third point is intensive and extensive variables. So these 3 points which we have learned in today's lecture. What was the first law of thermodynamics? Thermodynamics first law is Q is equal to delta U plus W. This is the mathematical form and it gives the relation between heat and work done. Okay, and even the internal energy. and intensive and extensive variable right now we have seen. So okay, so this is all about today's lecture. So I am thanking you all to watch the whole video, and if you have any query regarding this, do comment. So thank you so much.